Ladies and gentlemen, this is 90.7 KBOO Portland, your home for the movement exclusively. I'm Matt Funk. We are here in the Fortress of Solitude. It's another beautiful Sunday evening, and thanks for joining us. Right now, we have a fantastic new guest we would like to get to know a little bit better, and we're going to use our time to advantage by enlightening us all with Drasmatic. Thank you very much for being here today, my friend.
Thank you. My pleasure. Your pleasure. Our pleasure.
Indeed it is. So you came through us short notice. You're actually out of the Bay Area. Is that correct?
Correct. Originally from the state of Texas, transplant of the Bay Area.
Right on. I just got back from Austin myself.
Ooh.
Yep.
What part?
It out there.
Where'd you go?
Well, my brother lives out there in Austin, and it was my pleasure to help him run a small restaurant for a time right there in South Austin.
Nice.
So, you're a producer yourself, is that correct?
Correct.
And you've actually worked with some artists that many of our listeners may be familiar with. So, before we really get down into where you're from too much, just give us a little bit of the juicy tidbits of why folks are going to be interested to learn some more about you. Who are some of the folks that you've worked with?
So, out of the West Coast, internationally, and actually proverbially globally, I work with artists like Micah 9, like Sunspot Jones, like Elronius, like Illogic, and I've opened for artists such as DiBiase, B. Dolan, Cryptic One, and even just to throw his name in there's one other artist, Mons Rock.
Right on, man. Well, we certainly appreciate your time. Now, are you from Texas originally, and then you moved to the Bay Area? Is that correct?
Born in Texas, probably around the 80s, 90s. Moved to the Bay Area in 2010.
Outstanding. And you've established a pretty cool network of folks that you learn from and share with. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing down there in the Bay Area these days as far as beat producing goes.
So the producing coach, the OG DiBiase, is the lead currently out of Sacramento. I've worked with numerous cats, well, preferably by myself, but numerous cats in the Bay Area who have taught me things. I'll mention names. Telly McLean, he's a young cat out of the Bay Area who was very, very talented. That was my introduction into using sampling as far as using Serato.
All right.
Also, just on, I guess, opening for different artists like DiBiase and some of the artists I mentioned, watching their online platforms, learning, asking them questions, doing different things just to improve and just to learn new concepts and ideas about production. So I'm a young kid, I'm in my 30s. So I started out producing at 19 and kind of just navigated the music industry as a rapper / producer, and really started cutting out rapping and producing full-time in my early 30s.
Right on. Well, once again, thank you so much for coming down. We're very grateful for your time. You've set up a small little workstation here in the Fortress of Solitude.
Oh, yes.
What's the hardware that you're going to be making these beats with tonight?
I'm using the SP404A connected and daisy chained to the Chaos pad. So that's my battle tactic, is daisy chaining using live effects with the SP404 and the Chaos. A lot of the beat making stuff that I do is use with the MPC Live. I like to sample jazz records, soul records, and kind of filter with the 404, use the MPC to chop as far as making the beat. Also, I guess I could say my hidden potential, or my hidden little trick, is sampling a jazz record and chopping a soul record, like a soul female vocalist, over a jazz record. And I started using Serato initially when I did that, but then I started learning how to do that with the MPC. So it's kind of like an interesting field, just to chop a jazz record and chop a soul vocalist over a jazz record and kind of loop that. I think it adds that little flair, that little interesting kind of touch to it.
All right, and then we're going to be able to hear examples of that. I'm hoping in the set that you're going to put together for us in a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Right on.
And also with the SP404, I like to filter the sample. So I'll filter the sample, drums, bass line, and vocal with the SP404. and add different sequences.
Using the Chaos Pad to do that portion of it?
Oh no, just the SP404.
Okay.
So basically adding like different layers with the SP404 as far as filter and mixing with Logic. So I do numerous different things with pieces of equipment to create a single beat. I guess I could say that.
Right on. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing it, and we're going to get to it quite shortly. Just before we let you get to the music, where can folks go to check out your stuff? Because I know they're going to love it. So what are your social media contacts, and do you have any music available that folks can go check out?
Yes, my social media, you can find me on Spotify at Drasmatic, Instagram Drasmatic.1, Bandcamp Drasmatic. You can just Google Drasmatic and something will pop. Drasmatic, Drasmatic.
Well, thank you, Drasmatic, once again for being here, man.
Oh, I gotta mention.
Go ahead.
So singles, records, I have beat tapes as far as making beats with different machines like the MPC, filtering with the SP404, Serato. I've done different beat tapes like Manifestation, Intuition. I like naming them after conscious meditative names because I practice meditation. That's a daily practice of mine. So, and by the way, speaking of meditation, working with artists like Micah, like Sunspot, I like to give them the concept or an idea of conscious thinking because they're conscious rappers. So give them the idea of conscious thinking. So we can release music like Third Eye Gems from Micah 9 as the world learns from Micah 9. Sunspot Jones worked with a rapper out of the Oakland area his name is Summer Man. He did a collab track with Sunspot Jones called Light You Find. And we're still waiting on the release of Alyssa the G and Logic Mastering Elements.
Right on, man.
So there's also collaborations with Summer Man entitled The Cookout, which features Sunspot Jones. That's the full record. Voltaire Sapodelic, and I almost forgot, Erroneous releases a track called Tales in the Bay. So there's different rappers, OGs, and beat tapes that are out there on the internet. There's playlist beats on YouTube. So there's also smooth jazz playlists. There's upbeat playlists. So there's just tons of music out there in the world, but I want to bring my gift to the table, if you will.
Well, let's get to it. Thank you so much again on behalf of the KBOO crew here at The Movement, King Tim 33 and the Third, Soul Brother number 1, myself, Matt Funk, and also Northern Draw that we managed to make this connection through, and Love Jones, right?
Correct.
All right. Well, shout out to all those folks. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Drasmatic.
Thank you.
This is 90.7 KBOO Portland. I'm Matt Funk, and that was a fantastic live set from Drasmatic. Man, thank you so much again for coming down and kicking it with us tonight.
Man, thank you. I love Portland. This has been some hospitality. This has been a great time here. I spent some really good moments here.
Outstanding. Now, you will be performing here in Portland. That's why you're up here.
Yes. Tomorrow, Thirsty City. I believe it's at the Goodfoot with Spinach, Gilo 13, Echoic, myself. We'll be doing a live set. I believe that's in downtown Portland. I'm not from Portland. You would know.
What's the spot?
I believe the Goodfoot is. Am I right or wrong? I don't.
Oh, no, Goodfoot's in Southeast Portland.
Okay.
Yeah. It will have happened by the time this show comes around.
Okay.
So I'm sure it will be fantastic. But for whatever reason, instead of stuff that will have already happened by this Sunday, what do you have coming up that folks might be able to participate, check out in, even if it's in the Bay Area or wherever you may be?
So I'll be doing some local shows in the Bay Area around Hercules, California. I also have a show coming up in San Francisco, California with Beats and Scents in July, one in June. I'll be doing like a regular routine series with a couple of different designers and producers and people that are curators of beats in the Bay Area. Nothing super specific, but there'll be shows that'll pop up in San Francisco and around the greater Bay Area.
Outstanding. So if folks are traveling or live down there already, they can check you out because we know we got listeners down there in California all over the place.
Oh, yeah. Also, I gotta mention real quick, that there'll be some other beats that I'm releasing to YouTube. I like to come up with beat playlists on YouTube and just post, like, curate just like simple playlists, like what you just heard, like simple beat playlists that are just smooth, eloquent jazz music and hip hop music that people love to check out.
And how can folks get to where you're going to be posting?
You can look up Drasmatic on YouTube, and DRASMATIC, and there should be a pop-up with different playlists. It's called Hip Hop Jazz Collective Beats, and I have a playlist full of different jazz hip hop beats that I've created.
Right on. Well, so on behalf of the King Tim, 33 and a third, Soul Brother, Northern Draw, and myself, I'd like to ask, the next time that you're in Portland, will you please come back on the show?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll be out here. I'll definitely come back.
All right.
Definitely.
Well, we would love to have you again, get to hear some more of your fantastic beats and learn a little bit more about Drasmatic.
And I'd like to give my shout out to Today's Future Sound, shout out to Flip a Beat Club, shout out to Baby Summit for having me in San Jose, California, shout out to my girlfriend April, shout out to my parents. Love you, Mother and Dad. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you so much for coming on. Once again, Drasmatic here on The Movement. 90.7 KBOO Portland.